One special something in Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, the conception of gentlemanliness. How can you become a gentleman? Who is a gentleman? This is a very important issue in Great Expectations. Here we see Joe Gargary, the blacksmith. He was an out and out gentleman, thoroughly gentleman, but he was a blacksmith. And in course of time, we have seen that Pip has become a gentleman. But the difference is the gentlemanliness within Joe Gargary, but we don't have that much gentlemanliness in Pip. Philip. The short name of his is Pip. So the thing is that a thorough gentlemanliness, you can have the conception clear if you go through the character of Joe Gargary, such a gentleman. On the other hand, Pip was not a gentleman. He couldn't become that much gentleman, but he tried best to become a gentleman. So Stella doesn't want a gentleman like blacksmith, but Stella wants a gentleman who is outwardly gentleman. He became a great scholar or something. People like him. He has got money. He has got power. He has education. He has his status. All these things actually define him as a gentleman. But definition of gentleman is not so. The definition of gentleman is Joe Gargary. No matter what he used to do, no matter how much he studied. If you look at Socrates, he did not go to school, nothing. Later, he became the founder of Western philosophy, and he was sentenced to death at the age of 71. So the thing is that anyone can become gentleman when you have philosophy in you. Rabindranath, Nazrul, all these people are gentlemen. If you think someone is rebellion, like Kazi Nazrul Islam was a rebellion, but does it necessarily mean that he was not a gentleman? Yes, he was a gentleman. When you fight for the cause of the country for something good, you are still a gentleman. So, if fighting doesn't necessarily mean that you are not a gentleman. When you have a good job, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are a gentleman. When you have education, high status, it doesn't mean that you are a gentleman. The social hierarchy doesn't define you as a gentleman. So, the conception of gentle manliness is in this novel by Charles Dickens in his novel Great Expectations. So, we have a number of expectations in Pip. The first expectation he had was to get his tail. And in course of time, he got a number of expectations. He went to England, London City, he studied there, he got suited and booted and all stuff. So even when Pip was trying hard to become a gentleman, socially he became a gentleman, but not all the way. But Joe Gargary, on the other hand, became a gentleman, even when he was very young, because he had the humanity. So when you have the humanity in you, you can become a gentleman. At the same time, you should also have knowledge, because the definition will get different. Here you see, Joe Gargary didn't have education. He was a blacksmith. He was a very ordinary person. Pip was an apprentice to his blacksmanship. Hmm. So Charles Dickens wanted to show students, readers, to understand something. How can you get something when you need it? As Pip wants to get Stella, he tries. to make himself in a way. He wants to mold himself in a way so that Stella likes him, loves him, marries him. So when he was in pursuit of getting Stella as his girlfriend, as his wife, he tried his best to study her. So the target is important. And when you have a special target, you can also become a special person. So if Stella was not met by Pip, Pip would not go to London, he would not study. At the same time, fortune is important. You have to have fortune. How? I mean, a murderer who escaped the jail, he absconded from a jail and he was hiding in a jungle. When Pip was moving around, he was caught by that man and he was forcing him, intimidating him, threatening him to death so that he brings food to him. So, out of uh, fear, Pip stole food from his sisters, even when his sister was very much rough and tough. He did not find any peace in his sister. What happens in nature when you go to an elder sister who was married before? She will take care of you so much. She will show affection. She will show all the things that you must like. So here, opposite. Pip's sister, she was a quite poor girl, poor woman. She did not care her young brother who was 10 years old, who lost his parents. It means his sister also lost her parents, true, but age matters. She is now a wife, she is grown up, she can take care of herself. But for a 10-year boy without his parents is really tough. So he was a lot helped by his brother in law, Joe Gargan. And out of all this, we find that what a gentleman is. What is the definition of a gentleman? Something very important studied here written here in Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.